Of course, 11 a.m. sharp on the East Coast. Cody, you're exactly right. We are here, settled in. Early day baseball today. That's why we have an early episode for you of our daily betting show. So I know for a couple of you, it's a bit of an early wake up. You're not quite used to seeing me on air this early. But don't worry, we have everything loaded up for another full day of sports betting action, sports conversation. Of course, helping you if you want daily fantasy sports information. Here to help you out with everything you need. If you're watching on Instagram Live and you want to see the research that we're going to do over the course of the show, go over to our YouTube channel, Butt Fumble Sports on YouTube. You can see all the research we're going to do to help you with your bets, help you with your fantasy team, and of course, if you want us to do any research around any of the sports going on today, you can find it all there on YouTube. For those watching on TikTok, thank you for joining us. We know we have some great loyal viewers. Appreciate all of you who are going to join us today. And of course, those who are on TikTok, if you ever want to join the conversation, never hesitate. We have someone standing by on our TikTok account to make sure that I get all of your questions, all of your comments, and that way I can always address them live on the air. We have a lot to get into today, but before we get into our bets from yesterday, I actually wanted to talk a little bit about what we saw last night in the Boston Celtics 76ers game as it both pertains to sports and sports betting. First of all, from a sports perspective, how magnificent was that? Jimmy Butler continues to prove that in the playoffs, he is Michael Jordan-esque. He's an absolute killer, makes his team better, and not only that, delivers the dagger. He doesn't expect someone else to do it. That three-pointer he made at the end of that game that seemed to jump up and then find its way back in the basket, that is a quintessential Jimmy Bucket dagger play. Love seeing it last night. We cashed on him covering and the Heat covering on that. We thought the Celtics would win the game. We missed on that, but that's irrelevant. That's talking more about the betting. I wanted to talk about this game and how we approached it yesterday and give you guys a bit of advice. One thing I'm going to talk about throughout the coming weeks is called narrative betting. Narrative betting. And what I mean by narrative betting, if you believe there's a certain outcome and you kind of build the pieces of parlays or bets or prop bets that kind of lead to that kind of narrative outcome, there is a likelihood that when you miss entirely. So yesterday I did build up in my own, even in doing my research, we still followed trends, but I definitely followed the narrative that the Boston Celtics were going to win. We put emphasis on Jason Tatum with rebounds and assists. We put emphasis on Al Horford with rebounds and assists. We had Jaylen Brown on over his total points. We had Jaylen Brown on over his three-pointers. We built a series of bets based on the narrative that the Boston Celtics would win. When they didn't, all those bets didn't hit. So one of the things I wanted to make sure I talk about is when you bet based on a narrative, the idea that all these indicators lead to an outcome, also build in some hedge plays. We talked about hedge betting yesterday. One of the things about hedge betting, it doesn't mean you necessarily go against the conviction you have. It means that you're allowing yourself the opportunity to still cash if things don't go according to plan. One thing I look at back on now, 24 hours of a hindsight view, one of those watching on our show yesterday, two bets were recommended to us that we really liked but we didn't put on our big board. One was Bam Adebayo over 1.5 blocks plus steals, and one was Max Strus over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Both of those would have hit. Both of those cashed, and those would have been good bets to put up on our big board because, again, it counters the narrative that we were building. Narrative betting isn't a bad thing. If all the trends lead in a direction, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to buck it, but you may want to also consider just a few ways of hedging yourself, building in some opportunities to cash if that narrative that you're forecasting doesn't come to fruition. Again, for all of those who are joining us, we don't put out bets that are based off of my favorite team or player or how I'm feeling in my gut. We go based off of trends. The trends yesterday suggest the Celtics were going to win, the Heat were going to cover, and all of our bets were going to cash. It's not how it went down, but it's one of the things I want to talk about this morning about how do we avoid that in the future. Build in just a few bets in which if that narrative outcome that you're forecasting doesn't come to fruition, you're still going to cash some bets by being smart and tactical about, hey, if the Heat were to win, what would have to happen? Well, Bam would have to deliver. Some of their role players would have to deliver. And that kind of gives you an indication of how you can counter that narrative betting. So, with that said, let's look at how we did yesterday, and I will admit, it was a bad day. We did not do that well. We missed on all our all our long ball long shots of the day, but that I care less about. Obviously, I put those out there. We missed on them, but new day, new dollar. As for our picks, wish we had done a little bit better on these. We had a few bad bets, bad beats rather. Al Horford over rebounds and assists was a bad beat. Jaylen Brown was a really bad beat. He had 22 points. We had him over 23.5. And there were certainly some opportunities where Jaylen Brown had a chance to add those 2 points. I think about a dunk that he could have had against Bam Adebayo, who ended up blocking it. That was the difference in that bet. One that really I'm surprised didn't cash was Gabe Vincent over 3.5 assists. That had been a really consistent play. He only had 2 assists last night. That's one of those where it didn't hit last night, but I don't want to avoid it too much. It easily is one that could come up for game 2 because, again, I think the facilitating of the Miami Heat, even whether it's Jimmy Butler or someone else, they pass the ball incredibly well. They find their shooters. Gabe Vincent, I expect him to bounce back, so that's not one I'm really avoiding. As for baseball, we had our hits or misses. We had a few that broke the trend. Spencer Strider didn't hit 8.5 strikeouts. He only had 7. That trend broke. Yankees, Blue Jays, the over didn't hit, obviously. Chris Bassett is pitching really well. If no one's paying attention to the Toronto Blue Jays, all of a sudden he has stringed together something like over 20 innings of scoreless baseball. So we need to keep our eye on Chris Bassett in 4 days or 4 games, because we do not want to make the mistake of betting against him another turn through the rotation. Few that we hit yesterday. Graham Ashcraft, I always get that name wrong. He only had 3 strikeouts, so we cashed on that. We did okay on our baseball player prop bets. Here's how we did overall. You can see 7 and 10, not what we want. This is how we've done over the last 6 days. We're in a bit of a slump or in a bit of a 500 streak. Let's get over that and let's get started today with our show. And hopefully we can come up with some winners and cash you some tickets today. Appreciate all of those who are joining us, no matter the platform, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you for getting up with us early in the morning, depending on where you are in the country. I know we have some viewers who are actually overseas and in some parts in Hawaii, so appreciate you getting up so early to join us. If you have any questions about today's MLB games, the NBA game tonight, or the NHL game tonight, we're going to give out all of our picks throughout the course of the show and help you guys out with all of the research that you guys need to cash in and be successful. Want to make sure you guys know how we give out our picks for those who are new to the show. Yeah, 808 Blaker, welcome to the 5 a.m. wake-up call in Hawaii. Thank you so much for joining us so early in the morning. As a reminder to all those who are watching the show for the first time, or maybe you've seen it but you need a refresher, every time we hit a 2,000 like benchmark on TikTok Live, we give out one of our picks, or every time we get help with our live goal. So our live goal is confetti today. Every time we get some confetti, we will give out one of our picks. One thing I also want to make note of, we are a new sports content company and we grow completely organically. So the support you guys show us is everything to us. So make sure you're sharing us with other friends, family, coworkers. If you know other sports fans, let them know about Butt Fumble Sports. You're not just doing a good deed for them, you're helping us grow one by one, and that's how ultimately we're going to succeed as a company. So please share the channel with others. Let others know that there's some great sports conversation being had every single day of the week. With that said, let's jump into it. Want to make sure, once again, make sure you're hitting that like button. Once we hit 2,000 likes, we'll give out our first pick of the day. And of course, once we get our first confetti of the day, we'll give out a pick. Jorge, great to see you. So nice to see so many of these consistent viewers, whether it's Jorge, Cody, 808 Blaker, of course watching on YouTube, Jorge as well. Appreciate One Big Deal 22. Love seeing these consistent names show up. It just shows when you come every day, it encourages me to show up every day, and we have been crushing the consistency. So thank you so much for the loyalty, the viewership. It means the world. Now let's get into it. One Big Deal 22. You're asking about the Rays on the money line today. Rays on the money line. Let's dive into it. So there aren't that many baseball games today. I believe there are only 6. So it's going to be a much different betting day for some of you. There's 7. No, there's 6. So it's a much different betting day for some of you. So you want to be really careful about how you place your bets today. I would say today is a great parlay day. I would say of all the days, today is a great parlay day because there are so few games, and therefore the opportunity to really find great bets is limited. Therefore, if you feel really good about certain bets, you may want to stack them again. I'm not talking about more than 5. I really would say go max like a 4-leg parlay. Every time you step outside and go 5 or more, you're really running the risk of bad odds hitting. But that said, today's a good day for baseball to do some parlay betting, so we'll definitely keep our eye on that. We're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays on the money line. A good trend to take note of. The Rays are 5-1 versus the Mets over the last 3 seasons. Of course, they lost last night in that unbelievable game. That comeback by the Mets. Home runs in the bottom of the 9th to tie it, and then Pete Alonso in extra innings to win it. So the Mets finally get off the schneid. Looking at the starting pitcher matchup today, Tyler McGill's pitched pretty well, actually. The 4-2 win-loss record isn't so much what I care about, but he's keeping that ERA around 4, which I really like for his purposes. The Tampa Bay hitters haven't faced him, but you just look how Tampa Bay hitters are doing against right-handed pitching. Obviously, really strong. Yandy Diaz is hitting really well. Josh Lau hitting really... Is it Brandon Lau or Brandon Lowe? I always confuse the two. I think it's Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau. But anyways, Josh is hitting well. Wander Franco, you always have to keep an eye on. I know it's a 283 average. And then Harold Ramirez. I like the averages coming out of the Rays. I also like the fact that they lost last night. I fully expect them to bounce back. On the Rays side, Taj Bradley is actually... He's in that, starter kind of role, early kind of role. He doesn't necessarily get a ton of innings. I think he'll probably go around 5 at max. But that said, you can see lower ERA, love the whip, love the strikeouts per 9. That's a really good sign. So that said, to the first question of the day, one big deal 22. I do like the Rays on the money line today. One thing I want to make note of in this game, and you're just going to see it, we don't have too many games today, so it's easy to check them out. But the weather in this game, wind blowing out to left center. According to ballparkpal.com today, home runs will be less likely. Runs will be less likely in that Mets game. So one of the things I actually like about the Rays in that Rays-Mets game, one big deal 22, is given the likelihood of home runs and overall runs is down, it means teams are going to have to manufacture runs. I think the Rays are one of the best teams in baseball at manufacturing a run, so I have much more confidence in them in that get them on, get them over, get them in approach, as opposed to the Mets, where I think the Mets are a little bit home run happy. I think the Mets are a little bit too reliant, as we saw last night, on hitting home runs to be able to stay in a game. I do like the Rays today on the money line. Appreciate all of you joining us. We are just going through our research for the day. Our first pick that we were talking about is Rays on the money line. If you want some of my favorite bets of the day, make sure you hit that like button, get us up to 2,000 likes, or help us with our live goal, give us the gift of that confetti, and we will help you out with giving out one of our favorite picks of the day. Jorge, you're asking about Brett Burns over 4.5 shots on goal plus blocked shots. Okay, let's see if that's available on Outlier. Going to our prop bet finder for the NHL. And we're looking at this Florida Panthers Carolina Hurricanes game. And we're looking at shots on goal. And you were asking about, Jorge, Brett Burns over 4.5 shots on goal. For those who are wondering about the app we're using, it's Outlier, great sports betting tool. If you want access to it, DM us like others have, and we will hook you up with a link that gives you a free 7-day trial. Burns, shots on goal, over 3.5. The implied probability is at 52%. You can see the trends aren't in your favor. He did hit it last game, but he's really been hit or miss on it. Given that it's a new series, curious to know if there's anything we can take out of a game one. So diving into it a little bit deeper. Game 1 of that Jersey series didn't. Just looking for some insights. One thing to note, Carolina, this is for the game overall. Carolina, 33-11-3 at home as a favorite during this season. Definitely something to keep your eye on. What I would say, Jorge, for this one, the trends aren't in our favor. The head-to-head's not in our favor. I would avoid it. I wouldn't touch it, Jorge. I would not go with Brett Burns on that one. And I don't know what block shots. We don't have that information. I only have shots on goal. So I wish I could give you more, but unfortunately I can't. One big deal 22, Yuri Perez, the youngster, the stud ace starter for the Miami Marlins on the mound today. We did our research about this one earlier. His first start, we said avoid him, and he was absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to make that same mistake today. One big deal 22, we are going to go with that one, and actually I'm going to put that one up on the board. I really like him today. Perez. So it's Yuri Perez on strikeouts. The over 4.5 has an implied probability of, I believe it was 56%. As you can see, he got 7 strikeouts in his last game. He's going up against the Washington Nationals. Just to quickly look at Fangraphs, I want to look at how the Nationals have done on the road against right-handed pitching, just to see if we can gain any additional information and therefore gain what we believe is an advantage. The Nationals are actually one of the worst teams when it comes to strikeouts against right-handed pitching on the road. Not necessarily something I would feel great about right now. I do like Yuri Perez, though, on the strikeouts. It's more because of the scouting that we saw in that first start. He was incredibly impressive with strikeouts. He's got good height. He's got good movement on his pitches. Looking at national hitters against right-handed pitching, not too many hitters in this lineup really strike fear in you. So, one big deal 22, we're going to put this one on the board. This is going to be our first pick of the day. We're getting it from you guys, so like we do, we turn this into an asterisk play when we get our a pick that we do mid-show. This is Yuri Perez over 4.5 strikeouts, and we are taking this one. We are taking this at over is minus 125. Like that. Minus 125. Decent odds on it. So Yuri Perez against the Washington Nationals. We're going to go over 4.5 strikeouts. Love it. By the way, to the question on TikTok, on Instagram Live rather, Cody's asking Angels, Orioles under. The answer is yes, and I immediately go to the weather, ballparkpal.com. The weather in that one, you just see the likelihood of runs down. The likelihood of home runs is down 27%. So yes, I do like the under in that game as well. And actually, we'll put that one up on the board as well. That's one of my favorite baseball plays of the day. You're already asking about it, so we'll just give it out. I know we haven't hit our live goal yet, and we haven't gotten a live goal gift yet, nor have we hit 2,000 likes. But we'll give that one out. We'll give that one out as our first pick of the day, and that is Angels, Orioles, under 9 runs. And I want to make sure we know where we're getting that. This is saying at 8.5. I got it at 9. I like it at the 9 more. If you can buy it at 9, I like it more. Under 9 is minus 135. That's what I like it at. I wouldn't want to take it actually at the 8.5. I like it at the 9 mark. So under 9, minus 135 to answer the question on Instagram Live. Appreciate all those who are watching, no matter the platform, TikTok Live, YouTube, Instagram Live. Make sure you're throwing your questions in the chat. More than happy to hit you guys up with all these answers. We just hit 2,000 likes, So let's say that the Angels-Orioles underplay was our first pick that we gave out for those 2,000 likes. I'll also give out a few of these long ball, long shots of the day. The first one I am going to give out, I know that the home runs are down in that game, but I'm going to take a chance on this one. It's a righty-lefty matchup, so that's it. And again, the long ball, long shots of the day, I'm going to admit where I get this information. I actually get it from others on Twitter. There are a couple really good resources for those who these individuals actually track home runs as their primary thing. I want to actually shout this guy out on Twitter. I don't want you guys thinking it's just me. Degen Eli at DEGEN Eli ELI. This is someone, he's a sports bettor. He gives out information about baseball, but he does a brilliant job on home runs. He does a great job on picking home runs every day. I definitely tail him and follow him. So if you guys are wondering where I get some of my home run picks from, he's actually someone that I follow. I also do my own research. We look at hitters who have a good history against the pitcher they're facing. We obviously look at the weather. But home runs is one where you really got to dial in. And I'm going to admit, my attention is spread very wide across a large plethora of topics. So there are certain issues certain things where I'll go to other experts. And I want to make that very clear to you guys. I don't want you guys thinking that like I'm the Wizard of Oz and I know all. Quite the contrary. There are a lot of other really sports bettors, other individuals out there on Instagram or TikTok, YouTube, wherever, who are putting out great information. I want to make sure that I'm forthcoming, let you guys know that I love you guys following me and joining my show, but there are others out there who also do a good job. I'll definitely allude to them, so in the future, I'll allude to some of his picks, and that way when you guys know I'm giving out a long shot play, it comes from multiple sources or it comes from those who do their research. I never want you to think that I'm just throwing a dart at a wall and seeing if it lands on someone who hits a home run. We really try to get things right for you. We so want you guys to cash on all of your tickets, so know that we're putting in that kind of effort. IP Shade 45, I'm going to answer your question in just 1 second, but before I do, I want to give out one of those long ball, long shots of the day. So the first one we're going to give out is one that you're probably not surprised by, given just the brand name, but righty-lefty matchup, as I mentioned before, like the opportunity for him to go yard. So that said, I'm going to go with Shohei Ohtani, and we are going to take that. Let's see where Shohei Ohtani's odds are. Going to Prop Bet Finder, resetting. Shohei Ohtani. We're going to take him at a home run at plus 430. So again, for this, we're going to go with what the longest shot odds are. So Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run at plus 430. We're going to give out a bunch of long ball, long shots of the day. So make sure you're following those. Love to see a couple of those hit today. There aren't that many baseball games, so we'd like to believe that if they're going to be home runs hit, we can hopefully identify a few for you so you can cash in on those long shot odds. Okay, IP Shade 45. You asked LeBron James over 6.5 assists. I like the pick and roll offense this series. First of all, I absolutely agree with you about the pick and roll offense. I think they discovered something in that second half. So we'll dive into it. The one thing I'm immediately going to say, I love LeBron James after a Game 1 loss. LeBron James after a Game 1 loss is one of the best performers in playoff history in terms of delivering in Game 2. So I certainly have a lot of confidence in him. We have a great history, a track record of him delivering. So IP Shade 45, that's certainly something to consider as just his history of coming through. What's interesting to note, while obviously under comes up first because it's got the slightly better odds for betting, as in less, shorter odds. The over has the greater implied probability. So the over 6.5 assists has the 55% implied probability. IP Shade 45, definitely a good place to start there. Like that. Interesting, a strongest trend is working against us. James has failed to exceed 6.5 assists in 19 of his last 26 games. Really interesting that sample size, though, the 26 games, that might be actually a bit too big for us. Normally, we like a large sample size because it allows us to feel really confident in what the results are. But that's speaking to almost regular season stats. I care about that less. What's interesting is last 2 games it's hit 3 of the last 5 it's hit, and when it has missed, he hit 6 that one of the 2 times it missed over the last 5. You wonder again if to your comment, that pick and roll play becomes that much more important. Again, early in that series, late in the Memphis series, early in the Golden State series, maybe not as important. What is interesting is these were games that the Lakers won. So Lakers obviously won this game against the Warriors. Just taking note, but let's dive into it a little bit more. The head-to-head against Denver, this is a good trend. So 3 out of the last 5 against Denver. Again, I know they played early in the year. The last time they played before Game 1 was December 16th. So there may be reasons for some of you to believe that, the early trends don't really speak to anything. But it's still LeBron James. It still speaks to how he may play against the Denver defense. So for this one, IP Shade 45, I'm going to go with you. I like LeBron James over 6.5 assists. LeBron James over 6.5 assists. I'll actually tack that one on to our big board. Again, it's an asterisk play for us because it's an in-show bet. But LeBron James over 6.5 assists. That's actually, before I put it on the board, I actually want to take one giant step back. For everyone who's watching, I do want to take one giant step back because I'm actually curious, do I want LeBron James on assists or do I want LeBron James on points plus assists? Let's look at what his points plus assists are. I like the 6.5. I know the strongest trend doesn't necessarily work in my favor, but let me take one giant step back. Let's see if we'd rather have points and assists or just assists. So points plus assists, the under 34, under 32, over 32.5. We're really not seeing anything. Okay, over 30.5 has the implied probability of 64%. Let's see if that's actually a play we really like. Over 30.5. I'm getting that at minus 174. It's kind of a similar situation where the long-term trend, it doesn't work in my favor. The short-term, it does. It's hit 60% of the time. I'm going to double down on this one. I'm going to take LeBron James over 6.5 assists, like we just said a moment ago. I'll get those odds in just a moment. But I'm also going to double down, and I'm going to go with LeBron James over, and we're going to take this at a favorable spot. So we are going to take over 30.5 points plus assists. 808 Blaker, I'm with you tonight. I'm going to take the over 30.5 points plus assists. And we're going to be on both sides of this one. With LeBron James, you believe he's going to score, you believe he's going to facilitate. I'm going to double up on this one. So LeBron James, points plus assists as well as over on assists. Let's just go back. I want to make sure I get the assist odds correct. We're going to take that at minus 120. Minus 120. So IP Shade 45. Thanks to your question, we're putting some more of our plays up on the board. For those who are new to the show, the asterisk means it's an in-show. Oh, I'm going to make sure you guys see it. An asterisk means it's an in-show bet. So the research we're doing during our show leads us to believe that these might be good plays. The ones that are the bullet point are the ones we've done our research on last night and this morning. So those are picks we came into the day with. The asterisk is a pick we made, usually based off of your question. We find some good plays. And of course, as you guys know, if you're loyal viewers, there are a lot of really good followers in this conversation. The Butt Fumble Sports community has some really good sports bettors in here. So make sure you guys also follow those who are on. IP Shade 45, thank you for the confetti, helping us out with our live goal. IP Shade 45 also subscribed to our TikTok channel yesterday. That means so much to us, IP Shade 45. I hope others do as well. We are going to make sure that we do a lot of exclusive things for subscribers. So if you're watching on TikTok Live, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join this community today. We actually owe 2 picks. One for IP Shade 45 sharing that confetti, and the other because we had 4,000 likes. So guys, get ready, whether you're watching on Instagram Live, TikTok, or on YouTube. we have a couple of picks to give out. So here we go. And I'm going to do what I did last time, which is I'm going to give a pick, and then I'm also going to give a long shot of the day. And we're going to double down on the same player for this one. On the first one, we're going to go with Aaron Judge over half a hit. Now, this isn't great odds, but we're going to get to why we're doing this. So Aaron Judge over half a hit at minus 240. You're going to be like rolling your eyes. But as I said earlier, I think today is a really good parlay betting day. And I don't say that to you guys often. I usually tell you guys to avoid parlay bets because I think it's such an easy way to Vegas to make money on you. But there aren't that many games today. The games that are on, you almost want to double down on a number of these plays. Hence why I went with the LeBron James doubling down on assists and points plus assists. By the way, I forgot. Over 6.5 assists. So I'm doubling down on Aaron Judge. I'm taking over half a hit. And then I'm doubling down and I'm also taking Aaron Judge on over half an RBI. And you're already gonna kind of anticipate where I'm gonna go now with my long ball, long shot of the day. I'm gonna add Aaron Judge to that as well. So Aaron Judge, we're going to add on as one of our long ball, long shots of the day. I want to make sure I'm getting the best odds on him. So I go to Outlier, our sports betting tool. I look up Aaron Judge because I want to make sure I can comparison shop. The best odds I'm seeing are plus 270. It's too bad because last night I took it at plus 285. So those odds have shifted down. Clearly I'm not the only one who thinks Aaron Judge could go yard today. But here are the reasons why I'm so loaded up on Aaron Judge today. Here's the reason. First of all, Aaron Judge has gotten a hit in 5 of his last 6 games on the road. That's why we like him to get a hit today. He's got a good matchup against Jose Berrios. So Jose Berrios, the starting pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, has faced Aaron Judge 21 times. Judge has 8 hits, good for a .381 batting average. 2 of those 8 hits are home runs. 1's a double, 5 RBIs, 4 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. So one of the big notes I look for, especially when you have a sample size of 21 at-bats, how many home runs, how many strikeouts. Judge has as many home runs against Jose Berrios as he does strikeouts. Love that ratio, love that stat. It's the reason I'm so loaded up on Judge, on hits, on RBIs, and on home runs. Aaron Judge, go yard for me and give me one of those today. By the way, 808 Blaker, I love Aaron Judge being, he's such like a nice guy and he always does things the right way. He's kind of like the MLB Ken doll at this point, in that he's kind of like boring. He's kind of just like whatever. And I love him getting petty about this side-eyeing shit. I love him going after the Blue Jays with his new celebration, closing his eyes. I love that. The one thing Aaron Judge has never been is a villain. I actually would love that. To me, it's kind of like Tom Brady being a villain. Like, Tom Brady's kind of vanilla, like he's boring. When Tom Brady talks smack, or when Tom Brady does something that makes him a villain, I actually find that more attractive in terms of, as a fan, I like that more. I'm rooting for him harder. So Aaron Judge, we all know you're the man. We all know you can say the right things, and you're the perfect quote when it comes to saying nothing at all. But why don't you give a little, you can't see me, to the Toronto Blue Jays? I'd love to see that a little bit more today, especially after he goes yard and cashes all these bets we're putting on him. Boss Lady, welcome back to the show. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to all of those who are so loyal, viewing us every day, whether it's Instagram Live, TikTok Live, or YouTube. The fact that you guys come back so consistently means the world to us. So a big shout out to all of you. Top Dog, I'm including you in that on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for being so loyal and consistent. When you guys show up, we show up, and fortunately for you, we show up every day. Boss Lady, we're going to get into Nikola Jokic, over 10 assists. By the way, I would love to be able to say that the Lakers are going to stop or slow down Jokic. Don't think so. Don't think so. Fully expect Jokic to be in his bag yet again. I know that the Lakers may come back and play better, but I don't expect that to mean that they slow down Nikola Jokic. So let's look at over 10.5 assists. Interesting. The implied probability here is 48%, but it's hit in the last 5 games, 7 out of the last 10. So interesting that the implied probability is down despite it being such a consistent play. And therefore, wow, that's really interesting. Also, the strongest trend goes against it. Nikola Jokic has failed to exceed 10.5 assists in 13 of his last 19 games as a favorite. And however, his average during that time is 9.3. So it's not like he's way off. It's not like he's at 8 or he's at 7. He's not missing it. He's missing it by 1 assist a game. LRK425, what's happening? Hope you're doing well. Alexander, great to see you. Frankie as well. So great to see the loyal buddies show up every day. So for this one, Boss Lady, I actually like... I know that the larger trend is saying it's not a good play. I like the short-term trend. I like this is how the Denver offense is operating. Much like we're seeing with Jimmy Butler, the Denver offense operates through Nikola Jokic. There are some teams that operate through their point guard. What we're going to see tonight, I think largely, is LeBron James and Nikola Jokic are almost going to be the point guards for these two teams. I expect Jokic to hit over his assist total again. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a triple-double again. I don't expect the rebound numbers that he got in Game 1. I think LeBron's going to crash the boards more. I expect Rui Hachimura to be thrown on him more. Obviously, AD needs to have another big game. But that said, I like Jokic over 10.5 assists, really because when he's hit it in 5 straight games, I'm going to ride it until it dies. Usually when you get a trend that's 5 or more in a row, just ride it. He's been doing it consistently. It's how the offense has been operating. I also like the fact that with Rui Hachimura now being put on him, they're trying to bully him or get some more athleticism against him. That actually might make Jokic come out a little bit closer to the nail than on the block. And again, that makes him a facilitator. But we saw in Game 1, his passes are brilliant. Just like Marcus Smart last night, he can pass it through a small window. So for a number of reasons, I do like Jokic over 10.5 assists. I'm not going to put it up on the big board, but I will put it in my notes just so we know about it tomorrow. Jokic over 10.5 assists. And just in case anyone was wondering what the odds are on that, you can get that. You can get the over actually at plus 110. Plus 110. Interesting that you can get it at plus money. So clearly Vegas doesn't think this one's going to hit today. But I actually like it. It's been a really consistent play. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. Alexander, it's going to be another fast-paced game like yesterday, pushing the pace. Completely agree with you guys. Definitely. I love that IP Shade is asking Alexander for his picks. I love that you guys are growing this relationship, growing this community. I want you guys engaging. I don't want you guys thinking that I just want you asking me. I love that you guys engage with each other. I want this community to be strong, to know each other, to rely on each other. I was thinking about this last night. You often don't think about, are we betting together or are we betting against each other? And the idea is, by the way, I'm with Alexander. I love the over tonight. Love the over tonight. Alexander, that's a really good call. That's a really good call. We'll get to that in a minute, actually. But one of the things I wanted to talk about regarding this community is when we bet together, we win together. When you're betting all on the same event, that's when you can be rivals. You think of Mattress Mac, that douchebag who always puts big bets down on the Kentucky Derby or something. I hate that guy because he ruins it for the rest of us. He puts $1 million down on a horse, it changes the odds, it makes it worse for us. But this community at Butt Fumble Sports, if any of you are dropping Drake or Mattress Mac like money and changing the odds, well, okay. But I'm assuming most of you we're all kind of in the same ballpark in terms of the bets that we're doing. So for a number of reasons, we're on the same team. We are all looking to cash. I want all of us to make money. I have none of you are foes, rivals, opponents. We all want to make money, and we all want to see each other succeed. So because of that, if you guys got a tip on something, if you have a hot trend, if there's a stat that you saw on ESPN or Stats and Info or somewhere else, share it with everybody. Let everybody else know, because I want to make sure that this community is also contributing to one another. I don't want you just thinking that I'm giving things out. I love that you guys bring things to the table. So Alexander, love that you contribute. IP Shade 45, love that you ask about it. Love that this community supports one another. Wanted to make note of that. Didn't want to turn this into an Oprah moment, but love that the Butt Fumble Sports community is on the same team. We are on the same side, and that's on the side of cashing tickets. So, with that said, I do want to dive into that overplay, and I'm going to go in, and I'm actually going to make this one of my favorite bets of the day. Again, I know we haven't... Have we hit our benchmark? We had 4,000 likes. So let's say this is our next favorite bet of the day because we had 4,000 likes. By the way, I need to get my typing right. Aaron Judge over. So anyways, I'm also going to go exactly where Alexander went. The over has been too strong a trend to not go with it in the Nuggets and Lakers series. So Lakers Nuggets over. I know this total is high for some of you. It was much lower in game one. Obviously, Vegas got wise to it. So with that said, I know it's jumped. Oh, 26.5. I'm taking it there. I like that it's had a tick down. So Caesar's going with the under on YouTube. Caesar's going with the under. I'm going with the over. The over's been the stronger play for me. Over 26.5. We're getting that minus 110. Here's the reason I like this play so much. First of all, in the Lakers' last 20, it's been a strong play. In Denver's last 5, it's been a strong play. But I also have, if we jump out to the 26.5. You can take it, by the way, at other places. One of the things I love about this sports betting tool, Outlier, look at how I could get this at 223.5 or minus 140. That's not a bad bet. So if you guys aren't comfortable with this play, make sure that... By the way, IP Shade 45, I'm absolutely going to get to your comment in just 1 second because I love what you're getting on. But here for this total play, you could get it at 225.5 and minus 160. Don't feel like you just have to take it where your sportsbook offers it. Do some comparison shopping. Find a place that makes the best opportunity for you to cash. So, yes, I do like the over 27 or 26.5. You can find other places to take this that are still advantageous. We actually talked about this with some other bets. If I like it at 226.5, maybe I also buy it at 224.5. Maybe I buy it at 222.5. I could put down 3 or 4 bets all on the same thing cashing on the over. One, if the big one hits, they all hit. I kind of like doing that for this game, taking the over at multiple different places, saying 226.5 is going to be my top. I'll take over at under prices there. I think that's a good way you can actually cash on all the same things happening. Did want to bring this up, though. Let's go to covers.com. I wanted to show you some trends. Again, covers.com is a great website for trends. It's free, by the way. Unlike Outlier, this is a free website. So, guys, check it out, covers.com. Definitely support this website. It's fantastic. Look at the over trends here. First of all, the over... 7-2 in the last 9 meetings between these two teams in Denver. One trend I like. By the way, when you see these flames, it means it's a hot trend. So the over 4-0 in the Lakers' last 4 conference finals games. That doesn't mean much to me, but the Lakers are 4-0 on the over in the last 4 road games versus a team with a winning percentage above 600. That matters to me. Lakers over after their opponent scores over 100 points in the previous game. That matters to me. Over on road games, strong trend. For a number of reasons, the Lakers on the stronger trend is the over. Flip it over to Denver, guess what? Same thing. Over when they've after allowing more than 125 points. Over when they play a team with a winning straight up record. I know the under at home isn't a good one, but the over their last 11's been a strong play. So I really like the over in this one. I showed you, we put it up on the board. So in case anyone was wondering, Lakers Nuggets over 26.5. Really like that play. Also, by the way, I do like the Nuggets on the money line tonight. I do like the Nuggets on the money line. Other than the Celtics, this is an interesting stat. Other than the Celtics, no remaining team has lost at home this playoffs. I thought that was an unbelievable stat. So for all of those who are following, I cannot believe this, but the Lakers are the only remaining team to have lost at home during the playoffs. I'm going to ride that, and I am going to take Nuggets on the money line. So I will say Nuggets on the money line. I do expect the Lakers to cover tonight. I do expect the Lakers to cover. So we're going to put both of those up on the board. I may not put. I'll buy points with the Lakers though. So, anyways, I'm gonna take Nuggets on the money line. I'm taking them at -205. I know those aren't great odds, but I'm gonna take it. As for the Lakers, where do I really want to take the Lakers? I want to take them at like a plus. Yeah, I want to take them at like +7.5. Lakers +7.5 at -145. That's what I want. Wicked bets, don't worry. We're going to get to your MLB moneyline plays in just 1 minute. We're going to get to all your questions in just 1 minute. But one of the bets I really like for this one, Lakers +7.5, buy that. Buy that. That's the kind of play that we want. Lakers +7.5. And again, guys, I know your sportsbook may only offer it at one price. Screw that. Why do I have to take a price that's given to me or take a spread that's given to me? That is just foolish. I don't need to do that. So for so many reasons, I'm going to take Lakers at +7.5, -145. That's the money play, man. That's where it's at. So for all of those who are watching, first of all, make sure you're hitting that follow button. We are live every single day giving out sports betting, fantasy, and all these sporting events. We give out picks and trends and data for all of this. So make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. That way you know every time that we're live. But you can also see on our screen, we give out picks of the day every single day. If it's an asterisk play, it's a pick that we like that we made because we did our research in the show. If it's a bullet point, it means we did our research ahead of the show and we really like it. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. Every time you guys help us out with our live goal, give us some of that confetti, or we hit another 2,000 like benchmark, we give out another one of our favorite picks. So what are we looking at? We're trying to get up to 8,000 picks. 8,000 likes rather. 8,000 likes is our next opportunity to give out picks. Top Dog is asking about Bruce Brown over half a three-pointer. Let's check it out. Bruce Brown over half a three-pointer. We're going to go into our player prop bet finder. Bruce Brown over a half a three-pointer. We go to Bruce Brown. We look him up. Over half a three-pointer has the stronger implied probability at 53%. Really like that off the bat. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Over half a three-pointer. It's been a really strong trend. It's hit in 3 straight games, 4 of the last 5. Like that play. So to the question that we just got in on YouTube, Top Dog, yes, I like Bruce Brown over half a three-pointer for all of those who are curious. Bruce Brown over half a three-pointer. We won't put it on the board. Not a play that I necessarily want to turn into one of my favorite picks of the day, but I do like it enough, especially at -114. Man, I kind of want to put it on the board. Head-to-head, it's actually hit really... Okay, that's the trend. It's hit every time against the Lakers. It's 5 for 5. Love that play. Let's add it to the board. So we are going to put this one on the board. Again, this is an in-show research play, so we're going to put our asterisk next to it. And we'll take Bruce Brown over half a three-pointer made. And we're taking that at -114. Appreciate all those who are watching, no matter the platform, Instagram Live, TikTok Live, or YouTube. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. Once we hit 8,000 likes, we'll give out another one of our picks. And of course, make sure you're following us. Make sure you hit that follow button. That way you know every time that we're live for 2 hours every single day. We're about 50 minutes into this. Brando24 hates on it. Brando24 says it ain't hitting. By the way, just in case you guys are curious, this is never about my gut instinct or a team or a player I like. We go off of trends. So the reason I'm putting it up on the board is it's been a strong play 4 out of the last 5 games for Bruce Brown, 5 out of the last 5 against the Lakers. Because the trend goes in that direction, I'm going to go with it as well. Big Dave 2022 FanDuel results says Denver win margin 1-10. Okay, I understand, by the way, that I'm taking the Lakers at the 7.5. Part of what I'm encouraged by is what I saw in that second half. I think the Lakers, even if it seems like it's going to be a big lead, I could see them trimming it in the late fourth quarter period. So that said, one of the reasons I like the Lakers at the 7.5 is because I think the Lakers can shoot their way back into a game where I do think the Nuggets are going to be more methodical with the ball. So the 3 versus 2 ratio, I think the Lakers can get back into a game if they're behind. But I do like the Nuggets on the money line. Again, the hot trend, the reason I like the Nuggets on the money line, other than the Boston Celtics, the remaining teams in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals have not lost at home in the playoffs. I'm going to ride that until it dies. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports. That way you never miss an opportunity to watch the show, ask questions. By the way, if you have questions and want research done, we're here for it. Lakers will beat the Nuggets by 5 tonight. Reagan, can't wait to see you on the show tomorrow to hear you talk up how you got this right. Do I think the Jaguars will make the NFL playoffs? Regan, yes I do. Yes I do. Okay, let's look at money line. I said we would look at some MLB money line plays as well. So in case any of you wanted to check out these money line bets, someone's asking about the Orioles. Are they a strong play? They have been the last 2 games. They have been as well over their last 19 after a win. The Orioles are 14-5 after a win in their last 19 games. A strong trend here. Let's look at the starting pitching matchup. I already said I like Shohei Ohtani to go deep today. Interesting. Tyler Wells, 2.68 ERA in 47 innings. Love that ERA. A sub-3 ERA this late into the season. You know, we're already through mid-May. I really like that. On the other side, Tyler Anderson, that ERA of 5.26 definitely has me worried. Let's go down to see how these teams have done against these starting pitchers. And what we'll find is Tyler Anderson doesn't have a lot of data against the Orioles. That's the one concern. On the other side, Tyler Wells does. Mike Trout's hit him well, actually. 2 for 2, including a home run. I thought about giving out Mike Trout as one of my favorite home run bets of the day, but I ended up not. My concern for that one is the weather in that game. The weather in that game, blowing right to left. The likelihood of a home run is way down on this one. So for all those that uses the weather and uses an algorithm and a model that takes the weather and then is able to understand the probability of home runs, extra base hits, singles, and runs, how they will be impacted by the weather. The weather in Baltimore today suggests home runs will be down, overall runs will be down. One of the reasons I was thinking about taking Mike Trout to hit a home run today. The only reason I didn't is I actually didn't like this wind. The right to left wind. For those who aren't aware, Camden Yards, they moved that left field way back, so it's much deeper in left field. Mike Trout would have to hit an absolute bomb. I actually feel better about Shohei Ohtani because over his last 5 games, Shohei Ohtani has been raking against right-handed pitching, has one of the highest exit velos in baseball over the last 5 against right-handed pitching. So for that reason, Big Dave, that's why I like Shohei Ohtani. I like Shohei Ohtani, 1, because one of the people we follow for home runs, D-Gen Eli, is big on him today. And 2, it's based off of his exit velo. So yes, I do have my eye on Mike Trout for hits or runs, but not so much for the home run as much as I would have if the weather was a little bit better. What did I think about Spencer Strider last night? Well, he disappointed me. I thought he'd hit over 8.5 strikeouts. First game or second game this year, he hasn't hit that, so a little disappointed in it. That said, he has been brilliant this year, so expect him to bounce back next game. Deadpool, can't believe Miami won. I'm actually not that surprised Miami won last night. If the Boston Celtics were going to lose a game that was the most predictable in my mind, it would be Game 1 at home. I actually have more confidence about the Celtics in Miami than I do about the Celtics Game 1 at home. So yesterday, I even brought this up. I had the Celtics on the money line, but I liked Miami to cover. If you follow our NBA game picks, I liked Miami to cover. So for a number of reasons, it didn't shock me. What did surprise me is Jason Tatum. What happened? You were so spectacular the final 5 quarters of that Philadelphia series, and then you absolutely start laying an egg against the Miami Heat in that 4th quarter. Not only did he not have the rebounds and assists that we expected, fine, we miss on that. The turnovers in the 4th quarter were dreadful. Like Jason Tatum's turnovers in the 4th quarter were high school JV bad. I mean, leaving his feet when he didn't have anywhere to go with the ball, throwing it to nowhere, throwing it to Jimmy Butler. I thought Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter, as good as he was in Game 7 against the 76ers, that's how bad he was against the Miami Heat in Game 1. Now, I don't expect that to continue, but if the Celtics are going to go anywhere, Jason Tatum has to be a fourth quarter killer, not a fourth quarter wimp. And he was just bad last night. By the way, I saw something really cool. Last year, May 17th of last year, the Celtics had almost the same lead. They blew almost a similar lead, and the Heat ended up winning Game 1. If you go on Twitter right now, you will see some crazy tweets that are literally like Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals last year is almost the exact same as this year. Just absolutely nuts. By the way, Luke, you have a great point. No, Jason Tatum didn't give up the 45 in the third quarter. I don't understand why Joe Mazzulla doesn't call his timeouts. Like, I don't understand that. He had timeouts. Whenever a team goes on a run, goes on a spurt, call a timeout. Get your guys a rest, draw up some plays, get an easy basket, draw up a play that allows you to score a quick basket so you can at least cut momentum down. I don't understand why Joe Mazzulla was just letting the Heat go on that run in the third quarter. Not only did they dominate that quarter, I didn't feel like the Celtics were really doing anything to stem the tide. So, really disappointed. I'm not going to go after Joe Mazzulla. That at this point, a lot of people have done that. I'm more disappointed that the Boston Celtics haven't learned from these first two rounds. Like, you would think, after everything the Celtics have been through over the last 5 years, you would think they'd start to learn when an opposing team goes on an absurd run. Stem the tide, call a timeout, get an easy, drop an easy play, get a quick 2 for Tatum or Brown, get those guys involved, and then, okay, the momentum swing has kind of been cut down. Really was disappointed in what I saw from Joe Mazzulla. Okay, will Jokic get over 10 assists? We actually talked about this one a little bit earlier, and the answer is yes. We do like Jokic over 10 assists. Guerra, I think you're absolutely right, by the way. Guerra, great point. I do like points, rebounds, and assists. I like the over for Jokic as well, and I think you're right. That's the smarter play, because if you're worried about assists, he's still going to get his rebounds and his points, so I think that's the smarter play. Appreciate all of those who are watching, joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Once we hit 8,000 likes, we will give out another one of our picks. Colton, you're actually giving out one of our favorite plays of the day. It isn't over 1.5 total bases for Anthony Rizzo, though that is absolutely a really good bet. I'm not going to hate on that in any way. But I'll give this one out as well. We haven't, IP Shade 45, if you can come through, or if someone else can hit us up, help us with our live goal. We haven't gotten another confetti. Hit us up with some confetti. Let's give out another one of our favorite picks of the day. I'd love to be able to do that because actually it relates to Colton, so I'd love to give it and pair it with Colton right now. I'll just assume that's going to happen in a minute. And therefore, I will give out another pick, and that is related to Anthony Rizzo. So it's Anthony Rizzo. So I'm taking the over. You guys may not like it because the odds are a bit longer, may not be in your favor, not long odds, but not in your favor. But that said, I like it because, again, I'm doing a lot of parlays tonight. So that said, I like Anthony Rizzo over half a hit tonight against Jose Barrios. Colton, you hit on it. Rizzo has outstanding numbers against Barrios in his career. And actually, I'm going to tack on to it. For just that reason, I actually have my eyes on Anthony Rizzo to go yard tonight. So I'm tacking on Anthony Rizzo to our long ball, long shot of the day. Just want to make sure I can give out what I like his picks on. Cody, watching on Instagram Live, yes, I like the over in that Yankees game. I like the over in the Yankees Blue Jays game. Looking at that ahead of time, there are Cortez and Barrios do not have good numbers against the opposing hitters they're facing. So I do like the over. 808 Blaker, I do like the Dodgers on the money line as well. Urias has been outstanding this year. And Wainwright, he's the one who has worse numbers. So I'm taking Anthony Rizzo at plus 550. Plus 550 Anthony Rizzo to hit a home run today. You can see our bets up on the board. Here are our picks for the day. Let me make it a little bit easier to see it all in one shot. There we go. So for all of those who are just joining the show, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Every time we hit another 2,000 likes, we give out a pick. We just did. We haven't hit 8,000 likes yet, but we'll just assume that we're going to get there. We just gave out picks for it. And also, make sure you help us out with our live goal. Once we get once we get some confetti, we always give out picks. So here are a few more picks that I'm giving out. So Alexander, we actually used our Outlier app to find, we took the Lakers at the 7.5 because we took it at the lesser odds. So right now the line is 5.5. We took it at 7.5, and I like it at the 7.5 at minus 145. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Do I think Christian Betancourt will get a home run today? Interesting. Reagan, let's look at that one really quick. Let's look at Betancourt, Christian Betancourt. What are we getting his odds at first? So the implied probability, 15%. You're getting him at good odds. But in that game, Citi Field today has the worst probability when it comes to home runs. Worst probability in terms of home runs. By the way, you guys are asking some great questions today. The only problem is I want to give out all these picks. You guys are asking questions about things that we are putting picks on. I want to give them out, but we haven't hit our live goals yet. Hit that like button or give us the gift of confetti. Once we hit that, we're going to give out more of our picks. Arctic Tiger, I really want to answer that question right now because I really want to answer that question. But I just gave out 2 picks, for fact, I'm going to just ignore it, and I'm just going to do it anyways. Okay, I'm adding Bo Bichette to our long shot of the day. He's another one that I actually have. He's got great numbers against Nestor Cortez. That's why I like him so much today. So Arctic Tiger, we'll just assume that this is for the 8,000 likes. Just hit that like button. Just get us up there, but we want to give out these picks because we're having too much fun. So that said, we are going to go with Bo Bichette. Love Bo Bichette today. I'm going to take him on the long shot bet. I'm also going to take him at another bet, but we'll get to that in 1 second. The long shot, though, as in I don't like Christian Betancourt, to answer that question a moment ago. Bo Bichette, I'm going to take it plus 550. Plus 550. So we've got a couple, for those who are like, hey, Butt Fumble Sports, you're giving me minus 198 on Anthony Rizzo total hits. You're giving me minus 200 on Nuggets money line. By the way, Colton, thank you for the confetti. Thank you so much, Colton. Appreciate it. There we go. Thank you so much, Colton. So with that said, you might not like some of our bets that are, judged to get a hit, minus 240. Well, we give out those, but we also give out those long shots of the day. So add Bo Bichette to that one as well. I also want to jump into Player Prop Bet Finder for Bo Bichette. I want to see what his total bases is at, or hits, runs, and RBIs for Bo Bichette. The under's the stronger. Oh, they're setting it at 2.5. That's why. The 2.5. I don't want it at 2.5. I want it at 1.5. So let me see if we can get bases at a good spot. 1.5 total bases. The over. I like this. I like the over on bases. What's he getting at hits? 1.5. I don't like that. I'm going to take it at bases. So Bo Bichette over 1.5 bases. I'm getting it at minus 115. So Bo Bichette over 1.5 bases, and I'm getting it at minus 115. Love that play. Bo Bichette's got great numbers against Nestor Cortez in his career. In case you guys are curious, in his career against Nestor Cortez, Bo Bichette, 5 for 10, 1 home run, 1 double, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Don't like the fact that there are the 4 strikeouts, but like the fact that 3 are extra base hits. Nas to NYC, yes. Like the Yankees on the run line at plus 1.5. Yes, I do like the Yankees on the run line, but I like Toronto on the money line today. Jose Burrios doesn't have good numbers against the Yankees, but at home, really solid when it comes to the win and loss record. Jorge is asking about KCP over on points. Let's take a look at it, Jorge. KCP over on points. By the way, everybody, make sure you're hitting that follow button. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports. Make sure you hit that follow button. That way you know every time that we go live, whether it's on Instagram Live, TikTok, or on YouTube. You never want to miss a chance to join us for our show. KCP, that's hit 3 out of the last 4. This trend right here, 3 out of the last 4 KCP's hit on over total points. 7 out of the last 10. The over 9.5, you're getting at minus 145. It's too bad that the 8.5 is so on the other side. It's clearly because they're worried about his 3-pointers. Mr. Chubbs, love it. Love it, Mr. Chubbs. I do like the over 9.5. I'm not going to put it up on the big board, Jorge. Don't feel strongly enough about it there, but certainly like it over 9.5. It's been too consistent a play for me to ignore it. Like that the head-to-head, it's also been consistent. He got 21 points last game. I think they've learned that they need, again, I like Jokic as the facilitator. I like that the Nuggets are going to put their 3-point shooters around him, much like what the Heat are doing with Jimmy Butler. Get that player at the nail. Let him facilitate around. Love it. Again, make sure you're hitting that follow button. That way you know every time we're live. Make sure you're a part of this unbelievable Butt Fumble Sports community. Over 46,000 followers on TikTok. Make sure you're one of them. Who's your odds maker for the 7.5? Let's go to that just to make sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if I go to this game tonight, if I want to take the Lakers at 7.5, I jump over to Lakers plus 7.5. I can get it in multiple places. To answer your question, Alexander, again, this is why Outlier is such a good tool. I can both find the bet I want and the places where it's available. So I can get it at BetMGM at minus 145 or FanDuel at minus 148. Given that I'm getting the extra security of the plus 2 points, I have no problem with that, Alexander. By the way, Outlier is not a sports book. Outlier is a sports betting tool. So if you want to find the best sports book to bet on, you use Outlier. But Outlier isn't a sports book. It won't take your bet. It takes the data and the research. It has partnerships with the sports books, so you actually can find where these bets are available. Arctic Tiger, thank you so much for the follow. Hope so many of you are also joining this community with the follow. Okay, Jorge Soler. Let's look at him in the prop bet finder. Jorge Soler, let's look at home runs. One thing I will say, I like that his implied probability on the home runs is at 20%. For home runs, if you get 20% or higher, it's definitely a good play. He's hit a home run in 2 games in a row. The only concern there is just that. That said, Trevor Williams. So, if I go to Trevor Williams and I look at his stats against Soler, only 1 at bat, 0 for 1. The player actually that I have my eye on to hit a home run in this game was Yuli Gurriel. Yuli Gurriel. Arctic Tiger, I would take Ohtani for the home run. I understand Trout and Ohtani. I'm into both of them, but I prefer Ohtani a little bit more in that one. I prefer Ohtani for the home run. Hey Zeus, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Oh, Alexander, I totally understand. But Reagan, that's why with Soler, the answer is I'm not as crazy about the home run. The real reason is, do I think he's going to hit a home run 3 days in a row? That actually plays a factor with me. Do I think he's going to hit a home run 3 days in a row? He's certainly hot. He's hitting the ball well. He's got the high velo. Over half a home run you could get at the plus 359. Really good price there. So the answer is, if you do feel confident in it, ride with it. But I actually like Yuli Gurriel to hit a home run a little bit more in this one. Jorge's asking about some hockey. Jesus. What do I think about the Rays' first 5 innings run line? I like it. Jesus, I like it. Jesus, I do like it. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Make sure you help us out with our live goal. Every time you give us some confetti, we give a pick. So make sure you hit that confetti. Of course, also, every time we hit 2,000 likes, we give out a pick. I believe we're shooting for 10,000 now. I believe our new goal is 10,000 likes. So make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Get us up to 10,000 likes. By the way, Alexander brings up a pick that we actually liked yesterday. We gave it out a day early. Because we gave it out yesterday, I'm just going to put it back on the board. But I like the Florida Panthers to cover on the puck line. 1.5 on the puck line. So, Cody, you're asking about it. I don't necessarily like the upset. I actually like Carolina on the money line tonight. But I like Florida on the puck line. So, Florida on the puck line, minus 200. Not a great bet. But look at how consistent a play this has been. It's hit 100% of the time over the last 5, 80% over the last 10, 70% over the last 20 games. Love it. What do I think about Yankees' first 5 innings plus half a run? Jesus, the answer is I like it. I wouldn't bet it, but I like it. I wouldn't put the money down, but I like it. Alexander, love your take on that game tonight. I like the over as well. I like Denver as well on the money line. So Alexander and I, for the first time in days, are seeing eye to eye on a bet. Alexander, you know you're one of my favorite viewers. Thank you so much for adding and contributing to the chat. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you're following us. That way you know every time we have a show, we have a live show every day for 2 hours, every single day. Today we started at 11. We're going until 1 because we have day baseball. But we will be on tomorrow at 3 p.m. So make sure you guys are hitting that follow button. We're on at different times today and tomorrow. So make sure you hit that follow button. That way you know every time we're live, you don't want to miss a chance to join the show, join the conversation. Whether it's the research, the picks, we got a lot of things for you. Jorge, you're asking about some hockey. I'm really not into hockey prop bets. If I'm honest, it's not. I'm more than willing to do the research because I'm here to help you guys out. But it is never a bet that I'm going to look towards, like ever. Because I think hockey is the hardest sport to bet. So going in on prop bets is like, wow. You've got to really want to bet it. You've got to really want to bet it. Okay, implied probability on the under the shots. So you're seeing the 2.5. I'm just gonna Verhage. The 2.5 is what the line's really set at. The under is the stronger implied probability by just slightly. So you consider 2.5 as a strong place there. You're asking about whether they can get over 5.5. Let's go to Nevis. Nevis. Nekus, yeah. Okay, his over's strong. I mean, I don't like the 5.5. I don't like the hook, Jorge. What's getting me is I like it at 5. I don't like it at the hook. So the 5.5 is getting me a little concerned. If you feel strongly about it, you're seeing the implied probability is stronger here, that he can go over 3. But that said, I just don't like it. It's not a bet I'm ever going to endorse. I'm not going to endorse shots on goal. I won't. I could literally see a trend on the screen that's amazing. I'll never endorse it. I'll show you the data, but betting on hockey as the game is tough. Betting on hockey player prop bets, I want no part of. Consider that money in Vegas's book or in Vegas's pocket. I will not do it. Okay, Alexander, you're taking Angels and Rays money line parlay. Interesting. I'm going in a different direction. I like the Orioles on the money line. I do like Rays on the money line. So we're in a different spot here. Bob, I like the Orioles on the money line, so I love Orioles plus 1.5. Mr. Chubb's having some fun with Cody on Instagram Live. If any of you are watching on YouTube, make sure you throw your comments and questions in the chat. More than happy to answer any questions and comments from YouTube. So if any of you guys have questions about the MLB games that we're looking at, make sure you throw your questions and comments in the chat. Again, I like the Orioles on the money line at -155. I would take the Orioles. I don't know where you're seeing Orioles +1.5, but if you can get Orioles +1.5, I certainly would take it. I also do like the under 8.5 runs in that game. I took it at under 9. I took it at under 9 for that one, as you can see up here on the screen. But I do like the under in that Orioles-Angels game. Nationals-Marlins. I like the Marlins in this one. I like the Marlins on the money line. They have the better starting pitcher on the bump. Yuri Perez, youngster. We already mentioned his strikeout total. We do like the strikeout total today. Over 4.5 for him. Love that play. Bob, I wouldn't go with Orioles -1.5. I wouldn't do that. I like Orioles on the money line. I wouldn't necessarily go with them on the run line. Jorge, my confidence on Bruce Brown, I would put it at 60%, maybe as high as 65. I like that the trend has been really consistent against the Lakers. I like that it's been consistent over the last few games, not just against the Lakers, but also in the previous series. Given how the Nuggets operate their offense with Jokic as a facilitator, I like Bruce Brown to get 1 3-pointer, so 60-65% confidence level on that one. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's get up to 10,000 likes, guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Appreciate all of you guys joining us. Again, looking at these MLB games, kind of running through them. I do like the Rays on the money line today. I do like the Rays on the money line. Expecting them to bounce back. So I do like Rays on the money line as well. Just going through these MLB games really quick. Guardians, White Sox. Someone asked earlier actually about Dylan Cease and I didn't get to it, so forgive me. There was a Dylan Cease question that I didn't get to on his strikeout total, I believe. So let's go to strikeouts and let's go to Dylan Cease. Apologies to whoever asked that question. Dylan Cease. Okay, really interesting. Let me see if I can find it in the chat because I'm curious. Whoever asked that question about Dylan Cease, how many strikeouts did you have him at? Oh, IP Shade 45. I also missed your question about Taj Bradley, so I'll get to that in a minute. I owe you guys a couple of answers on these questions. So, here we go. When it comes to Dylan Cease, I do like the over 5.5. A little bit more, but I don't really like it, actually. I don't really like it. He's going up against the Guardians. In his career against the Guardians, there's some hitters who have good numbers against him. So I'm not as crazy about it. Hey Zeus, I like the over. Hey Zeus, I like the over. We've talked about that one. I like the over. So that said, I like the under 5.5 strikeouts for Dylan Cease. It's just a bet I wouldn't make. I wouldn't touch it. I don't like it. Not a bet I want to get into. But also want to look at Taj Bradley for IP Shade 45. IP, you know you're the man. Taj Bradley, over 4.5 strikeouts has been a really strong play. Over 4.5 strikeouts has been a really strong play. IP Shade 45, I can get the 4.5 at +102. I like it. IP Shade 45, I do like it because of how consistent it has been. So I do like over 4.5 strikeouts. It's just been hitting. It's just been a consistent play. I also don't like anywhere else I could take it. Over 3.5 isn't worth it. Over 5.5 is a reach. So yes, I do like the over 4.5 and getting it a plus money. I do like it for Taj Bradley in that game against the Mets. Appreciate all of you joining us, getting a question about Jamal Murray over 2.5 points, over 2.5 3-pointers. Yes, Arctic Tiger, I like Jokic to get another triple-double. Looking at Jamal Murray over 3-pointers, jumping over to that. Jamal Murray over 3-pointers. So the implied probability on the over is 58%. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm getting it at minus 142. I mean, I really like it. My concern maybe earlier would have been, how are the Lakers going to defend? They defended the 3-point shot really well against the Golden State Warriors. They didn't in game 1 against the Nuggets. And maybe part of the reason is Jokic forces you to collapse. When they were playing against Golden State, the Lakers know that they're going to be on the perimeter for a majority of the game, so that's not really the focus, is collapsing. Here against the Nuggets, you have to collapse. That opens up the shooting. Really like that one. I'm actually going to throw that one up on the board. So everybody, join us. We were going to throw the asterisk because this was an in-show play. But Jamal Murray over 2.5 3-pointers made. And we are going to take that at, was it plus 102? I thought we got it at plus 102. Oh, minus 140. Okay, I was being a bit too hopeful. Maybe I forget. I thought it was something else. So Jamal Murray over 2.5 3-pointers made. I'm taking it at minus 140. I really like that one. That's probably my favorite Jamal Murray prop bet of the day. I expect him to be shooting the ball. I like that he's hit it back-to-back games. I like that he's hit it 60% of the time against the Lakers. So some trends here I like. Minus 170 on FanDuel. Guys, this is why you want to do this comparison shopping. Yes, you can see it's interesting. The minus 172 on FanDuel, the minus 140 on DraftKings. That's why we like Outlier so much. I can do this comparison shopping. I can find the best place to take it. Getting a question in from YouTube that I want to answer right away. Tyler McGill, under 5.5 strikeouts. Let's check it out. So let's jump over. Let's look at strikeouts. Let's look at Tyler McGill. So the under 5.5 has the really strong implied probability. The under 5.5, 66% implied probability. That is the kind of implied probability we want. So this is showing 2.5. I don't want that. Okay, so interestingly enough, I actually can't, this isn't showing up. So I went to hit this under 5.5. It's not available anymore. Not available anymore. So the only place I can take the under is 4.5. I'm not nearly as crazy about that. I liked it under 5.5. If you can find a place that has it under 5.5, but that's Outlier is showing there are no sports books that would take it. By the way, Alexander, super smart. Really smart. For all those who are wondering, don't place all your bets on the same sports book. You want to find the best odds. You want to find the best place to place a bet. Don't be overly loyal to a single sports book. They're not going to show you any loyalty or love if you're very loyal to them. They might give you a few extra points, but you care about cashing tickets more than you do about loyalty points. So find the best odds, find the sports book that offers them, and do that. Alexander's exactly right. But this Tyler McGill, unfortunately, the under 5.5, I'm not seeing it anywhere. However, to the question on YouTube, if you can find it under 5.5, jump on it. If somehow you can find it under 5.5, get on it immediately. Anderson, appreciate you joining us. Oh, that's really interesting. Alexander brings up a great point. So I considered about the odds. I'm looking for the odds that are most in my favor. But Alexander's saying it's not about the odds for them. It's the line movement for the people who bet heavy on just one bet. Love that, love that, love that. Really, really smart, Alexander. Anderson, you're right. That's why we're looking for the under, but we can't get the under 5. We can't get the under 5.5. Anderson, you're dead on, though. But Alexander brings up a great point, which is there are certain sports books that kind of generate heavier bets, bigger bets. Obviously, that's going to impact your ability to make money on it. Alexander, that's a great point. Alexander, bringing the knowledge today. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you hit that follow button just like Anderson just did. That way you know every time we go live. We also have a bunch more picks to give out. So make sure you give us the gift of confetti. We're trying to hit our live goal every show. If you subscribe, we'll certainly give out a pick as well. And of course, if you help us hit our like goal is 10,000 likes now. If we hit 10,000 likes. Jorge, if you can get it at under 5, I like it. IP Shade 45 coming through. We owe IP Shade 45 2 more picks because IP Shade 45, like always, is helping us out with our live goal. Hope you guys follow the example by IP Shade 45. The support you show us certainly goes a very long way. So let's give out some more picks. And we'll go to baseball. And I mentioned this one earlier. I'm going to take the Dodgers on the money line today. Dodgers on the money line at minus 145. Julio Urias on the bump has great numbers against the Cardinal hitters. Meanwhile, Adam Wainwright has been knocked around by a number of Dodger hitters. So I like the Dodgers on the money line for that one. Couple other trends. The Dodgers are 5-0 in the last 5 meetings against the Cardinals. Dodgers are also 4-1 in their last 5 road games, while the Cardinals are 6-13 in their last 19 home games. Cardinals are not playing good baseball at home over the course of the season. I like the Dodgers on the money line today. IP Shade 45 actually gave us 2 confetti gifts, so we owe you another pick. I'm going to go with... I'm also going to go... we've been riding this one. It didn't hit yesterday, but I'm going to double down on it. I'm going to go with Yankees, Blue Jays, and I'm going to go the over. I want to see where that's being offered at. I'd love if that had come down just a bit. No, it's still at 9. I'm going to take the over 9 at minus 104. I think you guys would be surprised. Nestor Cortez does not have good numbers against the Blue Jays. Neither does Jose Berrios. So for a number of reasons, I do like the Yankees, Blue Jays over 9 runs. Alexander, great bet. Alexander, that's a great bet. I mean, that's a cashed bet. Trevor Williams. Cody's asking about Trevor Williams over 3.5 strikeouts. Let's check it out. Trevor Williams, 3.5 strikeouts. You're asking about the over 3.5 strikeouts. Really strong implied probability on this one. 59%, I believe, or was it even higher? 59% on it. This is hit in 4 of his last 5 games, rather. He missed last game. I almost like that. I expect him to bounce back. Trevor Williams, over 3.5 strikeouts. It's hit 60% of the time over his last 10, 80% over his last 5. Looking at the hitters against him. So a couple hitters hit him well. Cooper, Segura hits him well. I do like over 3.5 though here. So to answer your question, Cody, I'm not going to put this one on the board. I will put it in my notes, though. Trevor Williams, over 3.5 strikeouts. And we are getting that at minus 155. So we have our big board. Those are the bets that we really like today. Those are the picks that we're really supporting. But there are a few that we always take note of that you guys give out that we always want to keep track of. So there you go. By the way, Alexander, I totally agree with you. Today, with only so many games to bet on, good day to dial in on some player prop bets and find some good ones. Again, if any of you guys have any questions, comments, anything, we're here to help you guys out with your bets. Anything we can do to be helpful. David, appreciate that follow. Hope you guys are just like David, and make sure you guys are following us. That way you know every time we go live. We are going to be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. We're not done with our show yet, so don't worry. We still have a half hour of our show to go. But we are live tomorrow at 3 p.m. You never want to miss a show. We have some different times over the next few days because we have night baseball, day baseball. So over the next few days, some different start times for the show. You never want to miss a show, so make sure you're hitting that follow button. That way you know every time we come on live and give you some help with your sports bets. Of course, we have other picks to give out. Every time you guys help us with our live goal, we give out a pick. And of course, every time we hit another 2,000 likes, we've been dragging a little on the likes. We need to get up to 10,000 likes. Once we hit 10,000 likes, we'll give out another one of our picks. We're closing in on it, though, just a few likes away. So make sure you're hitting that like button. We will give out another one of our picks. IP Shade 45, you're saying we've hit that like goal. IP Shade 45, thank you so much. Cody, I'll get to your question in just 1 second, but want to give out another one of our picks of the day. I'll also give out a long ball, long shot as well. We'll actually start with that, the long ball, long shot. We will go with... This is the last one we'll give out for the long ball, long shots of the day. The next one we're going to give out, he has been red hot of late. I'm going to double down on him. I know it's not a big home run game for that one. We actually also mentioned Yuli Gurriel, so I'm gonna put that one up as well. That one we already talked about earlier. I'll get the odds for that in a minute. But Nolan Arenado, he's been red hot. I'm going to double down on him, ride him for another day. Let's see what we're getting these guys at. We just hit 10,000 likes, so we are giving out some of our favorite picks of the day. We're giving out long ball shots now, but we'll actually give out a favorite bet of the day. I don't want you guys to confuse the two. The long ball pick of the day, a lot of you guys like betting on home runs, so I wanted to start giving out some of my favorite home run hitter picks of the day. But my confidence level on these is much lower, so grain of salt with these long ball, long shots of the day. Understand we're putting those out there to try to help you guys out with those. These are the hitters we like to hit a home run today. It's not that we don't, but I want to make sure you guys take it with a grain of salt. That said, Yuli Gurriel, let's check him out. No, he's not even available. So, going to take him off our board. Going to take him off the board. And there you go. There are 5 long ball, long shots of the day. Adding on another one of our favorite bets of the day. And let's go to Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins, we're going to take him at over half a hit. You guys are going to hate this bet. It's at minus 210. But again, we feel like this is a good one to add to some parlays. So you may hate the minus 210, but include it in some parlays. You'll get better odds on it. That's why we're taking it there. Cody, you're asking about Dylan Cease over 17.5 outs. Let's see. So let's go to MLB rather. Let's go to Dylan Cease. Oh, we want strikeouts. And we want Cease. Dylan Cease strikeouts. Or, no, you wanted outs. Sorry, my bad. You wanted outs. So over 17.5. By the way, want to give a big shout out to Patience and Hard Work. Patience and Hard Work who just subscribed on YouTube. Patience and Hard Work, you are describing the Butt Fumble Sports experience. So happy you're a subscriber. Thank you for joining us. I like Taj Bradley in fantasy, to answer that question, by the way. Not my favorite pitcher in fantasy today, but in the early window, not bad. Yeah, Colton, he's not playing today. That's what I just saw. So Dylan Cease, over 17.5 outs. To the question, Cody, really strong play. Really strong play. The implied probability made it a really strong one. Over 61%. Interesting. The trends don't lean in that direction, though. The trends don't lean in that direction. He's only hit it once. It did come in his last start. And it hasn't. He has hit it in his last 2 starts against the Guardians. That did happen last year. The 17.5, dicey. A little dicey for me. I will say we haven't talked a lot about the weather today. Not that many baseball games, so we haven't been as focused on it. The weather in that Guardians White Sox game, home runs down, extra base hits down, overall hits is up, but runs is down. Maybe not as significant a weather factor as some other games, but the fact the wind is blowing straight in might actually be advantageous for him, so that's something to keep in mind. Looking at how he does against Cleveland hitters, There are a couple hitters who have hit him decently well. Josh Bell, Jimenez, Steven Kwan. Steven Kwan's actually someone I like for fantasy today. I have my eye on him. That actually may be someone we want to look at for a prop bet. The answer is yes. I do like Dylan Cease over 15.5 outs. To answer your question, Cody, I do like that. Let's go look at Kwan. I kind of want to take Kwan here. So Steven Kwan, let's see if there is a good spot to take him. Don't like the total bases. The implied probability is 42%. Don't like that. Walks, hits, bases, no. Here's one. Over on singles. I don't often bet singles, but that's the bet I like, actually. I'm going to take a bit of a chance. I'm not going to take over on 1.5 bases, which I didn't like the implied probability. I'm going to go with over a single. Over a single. Hasn't been that strong a play trend-wise, but I like Kwan against Dylan Cease. I'm going to go with Dylan's. I'm going to go with, we're going to make this an in-game one. I'm going to go with Steven Kwan over half a single. Again, I know a lot of you guys are like, really? That's the bet you're going with? But actually, I like it because the matchup against Dylan Cease hits him well. Getting at minus 140. Put it on the board. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Having a lot of fun with you guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's get up to 12,000 likes. That's the next time we're going to give out one of our picks. Or if you help us out with our live goal is the confetti. If you help us out with our live goal, we'll give out another pick. We have tapped out our long ball long shots of the day. So if you guys are curious who I think is going to hit a home run, that's up on your screen right now. Appreciate all those who are watching on Instagram Live. We've got a lot of good picks up on our screen. If you're watching on Instagram Live, you're getting the behind-the-scenes view, the green screen behind me. You don't get the information or the research put up in front of you. If you want to see this research put up right in front of you, go to our YouTube channel, Fumble Sports. You can see me do the research right in front of you, as well as the picks that we like for today. They're up on the screen right now. So if you're watching on Instagram Live and you want to be able to follow along with a few more things up on your screen, go to our YouTube channel, Fumble Sports, and that way you can see all of our research done right in front of you. You guys often hear me say this, but we're the Benihana of sports betting and daily fantasy sports. We make the meal right in front of you, so you know exactly what we're doing. So just consider us the onion volcano of sports betting. Austin Reeves over three-pointer is what Boss Lady Murr is asking about. So we will go to the NBA. Let's check this out. We'll go to three-pointers. Austin Reeves over three-pointer hit in Game 1. That was actually a bet that we took in show. You guys talked about that one. It was one we actually ended up going with, and it really worked out. We don't want points. We want three-pointers. Over 1.5 three-pointers is a really strong play, Boss Lady. Over 1.5 three-pointers for Reeves. The implied probability is at 59%. It's been a cashing ticket 4 out of the last 5 games. In fact, even better than that, 4 games in a row this has hit. And not just that, he's not getting at 2, he's at 3 consistently or more. I really like this one again. Boss Lady Murr is giving us some inspiration. By the way, head-to-head, 83% of the time. Love this bet. That answers the question for us. So we're going to add this to our big board. Favorite bets of the day. We've got to put an asterisk next to Quam. Adding this to our big board, we're going to make it Austin Reeves over 1.5 three-pointers made. And we're taking that at minus 140, I believe. Minus 140, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's right. So you can put it on the board. Yes, sir. Another one of our favorite bets of the day. Austin Reeves over 1.5 three-pointers made. Boss Lady asked about that one. Really strong trends. He's hit it 4 games in a row, and every one of those he's had at least 3. So like that, he's going to be consistent. We already saw in Game 1 how they're using him to be that spot-up shooter that LeBron James is passing to. Love Austin Reeves in this one over 1.5 three-pointers made. As you can see, we do our research during the show, and sometimes we find bets that we like. We dive right into them. So Everybody, make sure you're following along to our shows because it's not just the bets that we like before, but the research that we do mid-show that often informs us to some of our favorite bets of the day. I can't believe this, but it's been an hour and 40 minutes that we've been live. It's unbelievable. Okay, Jorge, confidence on McGill under 5 strikeouts. I mean, if you can find it, my confidence level is at 65%. 65%. If you can get it at 50, if you can get it at 5.5, I really like it. I like it at 70%. Appreciate all of those who are joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're hitting that like button. And of course, make sure you follow and subscribe to Butt Fumble Sports. We are live every single day. Like I said, unbelievable. An hour, 40 minutes. 100 minutes gone just like that. We fly through this show every single day because you guys are so supportive, so helpful. Wait, whoa. Did we just get this right? Did we just Steven, did we just get this? Cedric Mullins was over half a hit. Did Ohtani just go deep? Someone just said Ohtani went deep. Did we get our first long shot bet of the day correct? Boom, baby. We haven't even ended the show and we are already in the money. This is why you come here. This is why you come to Butt Fumble Sports every single day. We talked about Mike Trout. We talk about Shohei Ohtani. I said I liked both of them, but I'm going to go away from Mike Trout because the wind blowing the way it does to deep left field, forget it. Who do we say to put our money on? We said Shohei Ohtani. Show me the money, Shohei. Boom. IP Shade 45. Thanks for the confetti as we celebrate Shohei Ohtani. I get to do what is my favorite thing of the day. Favorite thing of the day is putting this next to any one of our bets. $, which means we have cashed at plus 430 on Shohei Ohtani. Appreciate you guys joining us, having so much fun, and only having even more. We haven't even gotten into a majority of the games today. There was only one baseball game that started at 12:30. It was the Angels-Orioles game. We put out a couple picks for that one. One of them was Shohei Ohtani to hit a home run. First at bat. See you later. Have yourself a day, Colton. That's how we want to start. That's how you want to start. And again, it's not a minus 430. It's not a minus 200. It's not a minus 115. It's about Shohei Ohtani at plus 430. Welcome to your Thursday. I hope you are having as much fun as me. Butt Fumble Sports is officially in the money for Thursday. Let's go. Let's go. Pumped as I could ever possibly be. Hope you guys are now a bit more of a believer in my long ball, long shot bets of the day as we are 1 for 1 plus 430. You can put it on the board. Yes, sir. Let's go. Okay, for those who are watching on Instagram Live who want to check out our picks, go over to our YouTube channel or our TikTok Live channel. More importantly, our YouTube channel. All our picks up there all in one place. Jay, you got to go Curry. Jay, that's a no-doubter. Irving, and then you think is good money with the Angels right now? No, I still like the Orioles in that game. So even though Ohtani has the home run, I actually still like the Orioles to win in that game. So for those who are looking for maybe some in-game betting, I actually still like the Orioles on the money line for that one. So just because we cashed on Ohtani on the home run doesn't mean that we don't like the Orioles. And also, doesn't mean that we don't like the over. One of the first bets that we gave out of the day was the under 9 runs in that Angels-Orioles game because of the weather. Just because Ohtani went deep doesn't change anything. We still like the under 9. I still like the Orioles on the money line. We didn't put Orioles on the money line on the big board, but certainly do like that. That said, isn't it nice to start the betting day with a cash ticket right away? So, in case any of you guys are just curious about what just went down that has us on cloud nine, we cashed on one of our first bets of the day. We cashed on one of our first bets of the day, Shohei Ohtani. And as you can see, one at bat, one hit, one RBI. And what does that mean? Shohei Ohtani went deep. This is already underway. This Orioles-Angels game is already underway, 1-0. So we cashed on this. Again, this game started at 12:35, so it started just a few minutes ago. We are already into the MLB day, and we are up because of Shohei Ohtani. Thank you, Shohei. Make sure you guys are following us. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. That way you know every time that we're live. Butt Fumble Sports is live every single day. Butt Fumble Sports is live on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube every single day. You never want to miss a chance to talk sports with us, reference some of the things that are going down. So make sure you guys are following us across all of our platforms, Butt Fumble Sports. That way you know every time we're live. We just cashed our big ticket on Shohei Ohtani hitting a home run. Again, all of our picks up here on YouTube. Cody, Shohei's hitting the cycle. I'm putting 10 on it. It's actually not the worst thing, actually. It's not the worst thing. Given that he's already hit the home run, and that's not a terrible triple spark, actually. I could actually see it. Okay. Top Dog, let's go. Let's go. That's right, Top Dog. This is why you watch. No matter the platform you watch on, you watch for moments like this. Shohei Ohtani, plus 430. We have already cashed on it. Having so much fun. We are off to such a great start today, and we cannot wait for the rest of the day to go. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to IP Shade 45 for hitting us up with all of that confetti. I actually want to give out another pick to celebrate. Again, we have no more long ball long shots of the day, so those are all the ones that we have racked up. But I do want to give out another pick of the day, another pick, and this one actually has to do with the Lakers game tonight. So I want to keep that Shohei Ohtani bet up there so you can all see how happy I am and how excited I am to have that up there. But do want to give out another pick of the day. By the way, don't forget Nolan Arenado up there on the screen. He's a part of our long ball long shots of the day. But want to make sure I give this one out as well. Another pick. This one, shout out to IP Shade 45. Thank you for the confetti. This next one, we're going to do LeBron James over half a block. This one cashed in game one. It's been a really consistent ticket. Really consistent ticket. Over half a block. I'm getting it at minus 154. LeBron James, man, doesn't it feel like some of his greatest moments in his career are blocks in the postseason? I expect him to have a block today. Really like that bet. Over half a block for LeBron James. We are getting minus 154 on that. James has had at least one block in 10 of his last 11 games on the road. 10 of his last 11 games on the road, James has had at least one block. That's why we like it so much. Have about 10 minutes left of our show, so we're going to answer your questions. Okay, 3 pointers made. Jorge, I already like Jamal Murray at over 2.5, so we're just going to look at Michael Porter Jr. We're going to see what Michael Porter Jr.'s prop is on that. So the implied probability on the under, slightly higher than the over, but that doesn't concern me too much. You have it at 5.5. You have it at 5.5. Let's see. So one thing I really like here is the head-to-head. I mean, it's hit 2 of the 3 times he's hit the over there. I'm going to say over. Jorge, I'll say over. I don't like the hook on it. I wish you could get it at 5, and that way the 5 is a push. But because I don't like the hook of the 5. But Jorge, I would lean towards the over. I'd lean towards the over. Appreciate all of those who are joining us, checking out some of your questions. If you do have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I may have lost them a moment ago as we got way too excited about Shohei Ohtani hitting a home run in his first at-bat, a bet that we put out before the start of the day. So make sure you guys are following us. Make sure you're hitting that like button. And of course, for those on TikTok and on YouTube, make sure you subscribe as well. We're going to do a lot of things that are exclusive for subscribers. So over the coming weeks and months, You do not want to miss on an opportunity to get that exclusive attention. By the way, Jorge, what's my favorite LeBron James bet? We just gave it out. My favorite prop bet for LeBron James today is over half a block. Now, I'm loaded up on LeBron James today in a number of different ways. I have LeBron James over on 6.5 assists. I have LeBron James over 30.5 points plus assists. But that said, those are two bets that I made in show because we liked our research. That said, the block is my favorite for the day. If I had to go with another one, I'd probably lean towards assists. I probably like the over 6.5 assists. That said, I feel pretty good about all of these LeBron James bets. I think LeBron James is going to be a man possessed tonight. LeBron James, after he loses a game one, in game two is usually a killer, a manimal, a man on a mission. I expect that from him tonight. I expect him to be involved heavily on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So that said, no concerns about these bets. I have a high confidence level. By the way, this is what we're going to do. The next person who subscribes, I am then going to give my confidence level on all of my picks. Normally, we've been doing that at 10,000 likes, but we're changing it up. The next person who subscribes will do a good deed for everybody. I will give out my confidence level on every pick once we have another subscriber. So that will be the challenge that we put out for you guys. Want to see if you guys are up to the challenge. Maybe you guys aren't man enough. Maybe you can't handle it. We'll see. Appreciate all those who are joining us. Again, if you subscribe, I will give out my confidence levels on all of these picks we've given out. By the way, if you come to Butt Fumble Sports and you're worried that you're only going to get 2 or 3 picks, just look at how many we give out. Now, that said, this is why our track record isn't 100% or 80%. When you give out as many picks as we do, yeah, it's going to be closer to 60, 65%. I'm candid about that. But that said, we put in a lot of research. And one more time, these aren't things that we like. This isn't Butt Fumble Sports loves LeBron James or Butt Fumble Sports is a Yankee fan. It's never that way. We go off of trends, data, analytics, and trends. We try to find you the best bets so we can do exactly what we did with our first long ball, long shot of the day. We said Shohei Ohtani would hit a home run. He's had a really good track record on exit velo against right-handed pitching over his last 5 games. We said he'd hit a home run. He hit a home run. That's what we try to do, give you data so you can be well informed. If you follow us or you fade us, that's up to you. Like Alexander, one of our favorite viewers, Alexander fades us quite a bit, but we hope that Alexander is made smarter by the information that we give. That's the point of our show every single day, to make you, the sports fan, the sports bettor, smarter, more informed, so no matter what you do, you feel confident in the bets you're making. We have just about 7 minutes left of our show, getting down to the final few minutes. So if you have any other questions, if you want to get in your questions now, throw them in the chat. We are here to answer your questions for about 7 more minutes. And again, if someone subscribes, if someone steps up to the plate and is the hero of the day and subscribes to our TikTok, we will give out all of our confidence levels on all of our picks, no matter how long it takes. Do I have a favorite Anthony Davis prop bet today? Blocks, steals, and over 3.5 looks good. He has hit it. IP Shade 45. I didn't have any Anthony Davis bets loaded up before the show, but that actually was the one I had my eye on. So let's go look at it really quick. I was thinking about this one as well. I was thinking about Anthony Davis blocks plus steals. That hit last game by a good margin. He had a ton of blocks. So the over here, 58 or 56% probability. Really like that probability, first of all. Second of all, this has been a decently consistent play. We know he's kind of had his ups and downs, but actually it's been pretty consistent over the course of his last 10 games. Over his last 10, it's hit 70% of the time. In the head-to-heads against Denver, 60% of the time. I'm going to go with the over on it, and I'm also going to put this one up on the board just to have some fun. IP Shade. By the way, Anderson, we will be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Anderson, we are live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Make sure you follow us. I know Anderson does. Make sure you're following us. That way you know when we're live tomorrow at 3 p.m. But we're going to put this one up on the board as well. Anthony Davis. Over 3.5 blocks plus steals. And we're getting that at, what was it, minus 140, minus 125. Love it. Minus 125. So there's another one for you. I actually have one more bet to give out. I have one more pick to give. Once we hit 12,000 likes, we'll give out our final pick of the day. So let's hit that like button as many times as we can, everybody. Let me give out my favorite, my final pick of the day. So once we hit 12,000 likes, we'll give out our final pick of the show. I can't believe it. It's already been almost 2 hours. This show flies by every day. I always feel like I do all my research. It takes hours to do my research. I put in about 6 to 8 hours a day of research. It's unbelievable. But we're not done yet. We have one more pick to give out. Once we hit 12,000 likes, we'll give out our final pick of the day. So hit that like button. Again, once we hit 12,000 likes, we'll give out our final pick of the day. I have one more loaded up. I'm ready to give it out. So here we go, waiting on it. Yeah, there it is. We just hit 12,000 likes. I actually have 2 more picks to give out, believe it or not. So that actually isn't going to be the end of it. Keep hitting that like button. If somehow we can hit 14,000 likes, I will give out one more. But I'm going to go D'Angelo, Russell, over 17.5 points plus assists. For D'Angelo Russell, I'm getting that at minus 120. The reason I like this play as much as I do, Russell has gone over 17.5 points plus assists in 20 straight games after a loss. Again, 20 straight games after a loss, this bet has hit. 20 straight games. That's the kind of trend. I'm going to ride it until it dies. D'Angelo Russell, over 17.5 points plus assists. I like it. Again, here are the final 2 things for the show. If somehow we hit 14,000 likes, I'll give out my final bet of the day. I have one more left. If we hit 14,000 likes, I'll give that out. Also, if somebody subscribes to our TikTok Live, we will go through every one of our picks and give out a confidence level. So if you subscribe, we will give out our confidence level. As you can see, we have a ton of picks loaded up. So many I can't put them all on the screen all at one time. So actually, let me make this a smaller size. We're going to have to make this like an 8. There you go. All on the screen, all in one place. Might be a little hard to see. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. There you go. So here are all the picks we like for today. I'm more than happy to give out my confidence level. We just need someone to subscribe to our TikTok, and that's how we'll do that. And of course, if you guys hit the like button, we have just 2 minutes left. If somehow we get up to 14,000 likes in that time, we will give out our final pick of the day. Hit that like button as many times as you can. I have one more pick left, one more pick waiting. Let's see if we can get to 14,000 likes. I'll give it out if we hit it. So hit that like button. I know your fingers probably time. One more pick. Let's see if we can get there. Happy to say we have already hit one pick today. Shohei Ohtani has hit a home run in his first at-bat. So we are already up. If I consider one unit, let's say $10, not bad. Not bad to go up 43. So doing well. Boss Lady, we're at 13,000. We have 2 minutes left. A minute and a half left. Can we get to 14,000 in a minute and a half? I am challenging you guys. Hit that like button. We have one more pick to give out. Let's see if we can get there. 14,000 likes is the goal. Let's see if all of you guys can deliver on it. I appreciate you guys so much. Jorge, Boss Lady, Anderson, IP Shade 45. You have been a hero of the day once again. MVP. Irving, Jay, Colton. Colton gave a gift today. Appreciate you. Steven, appreciate that. David, thank you for the follow. Alexander, bringing a lot of great info as always. Cody, big hero of the day. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button again. 14,000 likes. We have half a minute left. Can we get to it We hit it! We hit it! You guys delivered, giving us 14,000 likes for the day. We owe you one more pick, and you guys came through. 14,000 likes for the day. We have one more pick to give out. This one is going to be Nikola Jokic, Nikola Jokic, over half a block. So I expect LeBron James to get a block. I like Jokic to get a block. I'm getting it at minus 135. That is our final pick of the day. The reason we like it as much as we do, he has gotten at least one block in 6 straight playoff games. So everybody, that is the Butt Fumble Sports show of Thursday, May 18th. We have done 2 full hours, and look at all the picks we gave out. Look at all these picks. We gave out, if it has a bullet point next to it, that means it was a pick or a bet that we did our research before the show. So last night, this morning, I did my research. So if it has a bullet point next to it, that was a pick that I had done my research on previously. If there's an asterisk next to it, that was a pick or a bet that we found in show. We did our research. Someone asked a question mid-show. We did our research. We found that there was a really good trend behind it, and so we put out that pick. Again, the long ball, long shots of the day. Again, you want to take those with a grain of salt. We have already hit on one of them, but just be aware, those are longer shot bets, so you may want to put half a unit down on it rather than a full unit, but we've already cashed on one of them. So everybody who's watching on TikTok Live, on YouTube, here are all of our picks for the day. For those watching on Instagram Live, go over to our YouTube channel. We are going to put this video, we're going to put our show up on YouTube right now. Once I sign off, go over to our YouTube channel. You can see all of our picks up there on the screen. So everybody, thank you guys so much. Alex, Colton, Bossless, Arctic Tiger, Reagan, Aussies are awesome. All of you, Colton, One Big Deal 22, all of those who join us today and those who join us every day, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart, wherever that is in the Butt Fumble Sports Anatomy. Thank you for your support. We are going to be live again tomorrow at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. 3 p.m. tomorrow. We are live on TikTok Live, YouTube, and Instagram Live. So for everyone who's watching, first of all, Alexander, make sure you're paying attention. Denver on the money line and the over. We like that one. Everybody, good luck on your bets. Hope you have a lot of cash tickets. Can't wait for tomorrow's show at